Guys, it's Scott here and welcome to the Premier League review show. So, all of the games have been played for this week in the Premier League and we're going to take a look at them and compare them to what I predicted that they would finish on Friday's episode. So, hopefully you do enjoy this. If you do, hit the like button, show some support, leave any comments that you may have and subscribe if you haven't already and want to see daily content. So, I've basically just said what we're going to be doing today. We're going to look at each game that was played this weekend, look at what I predicted, what the actual result was, and then talk about anything else that was notable in the games. So, we start off with the first Friday night football game of the season. Apparently there is only going to be one this season, but then next season it's going to be a regular thing. So, if that's true, then, well, no, put it in the comments if it is true, because that's what someone told me on Twitter the other day. I don't know if it is true. If it is, I don't understand that at all. Don't know why they wouldn't just introduce it in a season where they're going to use it a lot. But that first Friday night game was Villa versus Manchester United. So, in my predictions video, I said it would finish Villa 1, Manchester United 3. I thought, like, I've said this before, that my predictions are going to be thinking that games are going to be better than they are. So I will basically never go for a 0-0. I will always go for goals. So I went with 1-3 and it finished 0-1. So Man U picking up the victory, which is decent for them. Again, one of only 4 teams to have picked up 2 wins out of 2. Januzaj with the goal in that game. Not too bad. Decent build-up play. Was a deflected goal, but good for him to get on the score sheet and sort of show that he can still play for them at that level. So other things to look at. Boring game, really wasn't incredible. Everyone was hyping it up. Oh, it's Friday night football, it's going to be great. No, it was pretty terrible. Depay, once again, not being insanely good, but at first he was playing through the middle, then he was playing on the left. Bit all over the place. Had a decent effort at one stage, was through one-on-one with the keeper, but just put it wide. Next, onto the Saturday games. So we start off with Southampton against Everton, both coming off of 2-2 draws in their first game. I said I think Southampton will just edge it at 2-1 as the scoreline, but I couldn't have been any more wrong. Everton smashed them 3-0, look really good this season. They didn't look incredible last season in the league, in Europa League. They were just a little bit meh, but they've started this season off well. That draw against Watford didn't look incredible, but they came out with a bang in this game away at the Saints. So Lukaku had an incredible game. Like, there's some games where he will look insane and then he'll do nothing for the next 5-10 games. Hopefully for him, this is not one of those patches of form. Hopefully he can continue this and perform at this level, because he ran the show for a lot of that game. He was very good. Ross Barkley was actually decent as well. For once, he actually did something, but Lukaku picking up the 2 goals and then Barkley picking up the final goal. He should have scored earlier on, Ross Barkley, but he made up for it in the end by getting that 3rd goal. So, decent result for Everton. Southampton, not looking great defensively this year, and going forward, they didn't really offer that much. It just wasn't very good. Everton were clearly a dominant force in that game. So, on to the next game. We have Sunderland Norwich. So I predicted in this one, after both of their opening day defeats, that if any team were to edge this game, then it would be Norwich, and I was right in this one. So another result predicted. We've only got the Everton one wrong so far, but Norwich won it 3-1. Decent result for them. A pretty good performance. Sunderland really struggling right now, but for Norwich, they dominated the game in terms of like shots and everything. They were all over Sunderland. I've just got it written down here. Martin, Whittaker and Redmond again with the goals for Norwich before Watmore, who plays for Sunderland, got the consolation goal, I guess, at the end of the game. So 3-1 is a very good result for Norwich, clearly showing that they think that they have what it takes to stay up in this league. Sunderland, like I said, what's going on there? Like, apparently Advocat came back in because he was told that they would make a decent amount of signings, and yet that isn't happening. So there's rumours that he may walk if they don't do that, and that would not be good for them. Who would they get in instead? No one knows, but a lot of Sunderland fans are saying we need to sign players now, otherwise we're really going to struggle. So what do you think about Sunderland? Do you think that they'll stay up this season, or will they struggle as they've shown in their first 2 games? Currently sat bottom of the Premier League table. Next we move on to Swansea against Newcastle. This was a decent game. Could have been a much bigger scoreline, but I predicted 3-1 Swansea. Thought Newcastle would at least get a goal, but no, they didn't. So it actually finished 2-0 to Swansea. Bafétimbi Gomis with a nice goal after being played through by Shelvey. Great pass by him, goes around the keeper, puts them up within 10 minutes. And it didn't really get any better for Newcastle as Janmaat got a red card. This was interesting as it's something that should be done but isn't a lot of the time. We'll get on to what happened in the Arsenal game in a bit, but normally if a player gets a yellow card, they can then do another yellow card offence and not get sent off, which is wrong. You shouldn't get basically preferential treatment to not getting a second yellow just because you've already been booked. So Janmaat committed 2 yellow card fouls and got 2 yellow cards, and therefore he was sent off. Whereas in other games, you'll commit 1 yellow card foul, you'll get your card. Then you'll do another couple, and you still won't get sent off because the refs are like, oh, even though it is worthy of a card, I won't want to send him off. So Janmaat getting sent off was not good for them. Newcastle just not looking incredible right now. And then Andre Ayew with another goal to put them 2-0 up right there. So they could have been 3 or 4-0 up. Montero hit the post, and I think Gylfi hit the bar, I think it was, with a great strike. Goal line technology saying that that one did not cross the line. So that was that game. On to the next one, Spurs versus Stoke. One of the other games that I have, unfortunately, guessed completely wrong because I said that it would probably be a poor game and that Spurs would probably win 1-0. Maybe Kane and Eriksen linking up to get their goals. Didn't happen. It finished 2-2. So Tottenham did actually manage to go 2-0 up. So you'd think, oh wow, what the hell happened there? That's what all of their fans are saying. So Eric Dyer with a goal to start things off, and then Nacer Chadli with a nice volley to put them 2-0 up. That was just before half-time. But then, near the end of the game, they just collapsed. Kane got subbed off, wasn't great, apparently not fully fit. Eriksen not doing as well as he could do. But then a poor challenge by, I think it was Alderweireld, let Stoke have a penalty, which Arnautovic puts away. Just not great by Spurs. And then they just fall apart as Juve manages to get a goal as well to make it back to 2-2. So Tottenham fans, I don't know if any of you are watching this video, but if so, what do you think about just that? Letting slip a 2-goal lead, meaning that you've only got 1 point out of 2 games now. That's not great for them this season. So will Kane start firing soon? I mean, they play against us, Leicester City, next week away. So knowing our luck and my luck, Kane will just score like 4 goals next week. So I wouldn't be too worried if you're a Tottenham fan. We're kind of the team where if someone's out of form, they'll suddenly come back in form against us. So next we go on to Watford versus West Bromwich Albion. So for once, I actually predicted a draw, and this was a draw. Like, I never bet on draws, but I said this one, I'm going to go against my morals, and I will go with a draw. So I predicted 1-1, I think it was, and it finished 0-0. So I was wrong. I thought that there'd be more goals than there were. Like I said, I don't think I'll ever predict a 0-0 in this series. So it did finish 0-0. There's not really much else to say. Not a great game, to be honest. So that is that one. Then on to the last Saturday kickoff. We had West Ham versus Leicester. West Ham getting that really, really good win over Arsenal. Very surprising for a lot of people. And then Leicester got that win over Sunderland, if you remember, on the first day, 4-2. So we went into this. Obviously, I'm a Leicester fan, as you can see. I said in my prediction video that as a fan, I think we'll win 2-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if it finishes 2-2. So luckily for me, it did finish 2-1, but it could very easily have been 2-2. So once again, we started off strong. It only took us, I think it was like 25-30 minutes for Okazaki even to get his first goal in the Premier League. Nice little through ball by Jamie Vardy. Good volley by Shinji. Great save by Adrian. He is a very, very good keeper. We'll get onto him in a little bit as well, though. But great save by him, but unfortunately, he couldn't do anything to stop Shinji getting that header from the rebound, and that put us 1-0 up. Then Mahrez with another goal for us. He's currently the Premier League top scorer after 2 games, which is ridiculous. But Albrighton with nice work down the left, cuts it back. Mahrez smashes it in. Adrian couldn't do anything about that. So we were looking comfortable going into half-time. But then Payet managed to get hold of just a a load of ricochets. It fell down to a West Ham player, lays it off to Payet, nice little cut inside, and then he smashes it home. Good goal by him right there, can't really say anything about it. They did deserve a goal. I think we deserved the win looking at the game. They had a lot of possession, means absolutely nothing though. In terms of chances created, I think that we did deserve the win. But on the brink of half-time, when it was 2-0 at this point, Schmeichel like stuck his arm out like that as who was it? Sacco was going through. Like, he knocked the ball past Schmeichel, and if you look at it in full speed, it looked like he went like that, as keepers do when it goes wide, to say, oh, I'm just going to leave it. But he smashed Sacco like that, and it could very easily have been a penalty. Was not given, so we went into half-time 2-0. But then at the end of the game, 92nd minute, West Ham clearly wanted to get at least a point, so they send Adrian up for the corner. It falls just behind him, and he goes to bring it down. He's watching the ball the whole way, but he isn't close enough, and studs up tackle, kicks Vardy in the chest, gets sent off, and Jenkinson has to go in goal for the rest of the game. So Adrian now out after being the most started player in the Premier League with, I think it was 86 games in a row he had started, so something ridiculous like that. He's now got a red, so good win for us, not great for West Ham, especially after their display against Arsenal. Their fans felt they should have done a lot better against a team like us, was the common quote. So I'll take the win, very, very good for us, puts us second in the table still, which is absolutely insane. So now onto the Sunday games. We start off with Palace versus Arsenal. So here I predicted 3-1 to Arsenal because I thought they'd bounce back strong after that West Ham game. Palace did win their opening day game, but I didn't think that they'd be able to handle Arsenal. So it did finish 2-1 to the Gunners, which not perfect on my prediction, but I'll take it either way. I was still right. Giroud getting an early goal after Ozil whipping in a cross that wasn't great, so he had to spin around and do like a sideways scissor kick. Good finish by him to put them 1-0 up. But then Joel Ward managed to get an equaliser for Palace, which shocked everybody. Koscielny, poor defending. He basically pulled out of it like a little girl, turned away like that. Could easily have stood still and would have blocked it. But Ward getting that equaliser meant that Arsenal had a lot to do. They had a lot of chances but just couldn't score. A lot of the time Sanchez would shoot instead of passing. Things like that just really cost them. But in the end, they did manage to get their second goal, which won them the game. Nice little cross in, I think it was by Bellerin, running down the right-hand side. Sanchez climbing high at the back post, nods it down. It's going just wide, but then Delaney tries to clear it, smashes it into his own net. Not really much he could do there. Keeper had no chance with it. Own goal, and Arsenal win 2-1. So a good result for them, bouncing back from that opening day defeat. Palace, it's a shame to lose, but not that surprising against Arsenal. So on to the big game of the weekend. So this was Manchester City versus Chelsea, the champions versus the runners-up last year. A lot of people were predicting either a lot of goals or for it to just be a bore draw 0-0. So I said that I thought that there would be a winner. It wouldn't be a draw. I said there'll be a clear winner, but I couldn't say which team. I eventually went with Chelsea to win. I was wrong. Man City destroyed them 3-0. So, very, very good performance by Manchester City. Chelsea just not playing that well so far. They are playing Fabregas further back than he should be. I think that's a big issue that they need to sort out for their next game. Play him as a cam, not a centre defensive mid, because he can't impact the game as much as he used to when he was playing a bit further forward. You see Chelsea counter-attack, and Fabregas is nowhere to be seen. You've got 5 Chelsea players up front. Fabregas isn't there. So I think that's a big issue they need to do. But Silva, Yaya, Aguero just were too good for Chelsea. Sterling had a good chance. Failed, of course. But Aguero with a beautiful goal early on to put them 1-0 up. I think it was about 30 minutes in. And then Vincent Kompany with near enough an identical goal to what he scored last week. Silva whips in the corner from the far post, and Kompany meets it at the near post, gets above his marker, I guess, and slots it past Begovic, who had a very good game, by the way. A lot of people were saying, oh, they'll struggle without Courtois. No, Begovic was actually very good, wasn't really at fault for anything, made a string of very, very good saves early on to deny Aguero, one after like 30 seconds. And Aguero even applauded one of them and went up to shake his hand afterwards, which shows how good he was playing. But then Fernandinho with a rocket to end it. David Silva with 2 assists in that game. Like I said, playing very, very well, but that was a pretty good goal, and that was the end of that one. So, not what I predicted, but Man City looking very strong right now. Chelsea not looking incredible. So, then we have our last game of the weekend, which was Monday Night Football, and Liverpool were playing against the new boys, Bournemouth. So obviously they lost their first game to Villa. Liverpool won their first game 1-0 at Stoke. So both teams were looking for different things. Liverpool to continue their form, Bournemouth to bounce back from that defeat and see if they could snatch a win at Liverpool. So I predicted 3-0 Liverpool here. I was wrong. It finished 1-0. Could easily have been many different scores in this game. Benteke with the goal after a nice ball in by Henderson, but there was a lot of controversy in this game. Benteke could have scored another goal later on, but that is not the main talking point, as Bournemouth had a goal, but it was disallowed. So the reason it was disallowed was different to Liverpool's, who shouldn't have had their goal allowed. So Bournemouth had theirs disallowed, and then a couple of minutes later, Liverpool go up the other end. And with the new offside rules that have been brought in, it's wrong. That goal should not have stood. Coutinho went to go towards the ball and tried to flick it in the box, but he didn't hit it. And the keeper reacted to Coutinho going towards the ball and was ready to save his shot, but then he missed it, and he was in an offside position. So it fell through to Benteke, who, because the keeper had gone for Coutinho's shot, was off balance, couldn't get there. Benteke slots it home. Should have been called as offside. Bournemouth should not have been disallowed, in my opinion, as he was on. So it could have been very, very different to start off this game. Unfortunately, it's just how football goes. Big decisions can go against you, and there's nothing you can do about it. The big teams always seem to get them. So Liverpool, like I said, could easily have got another goal, but Bournemouth will feel very hard done by. Could easily have got a good result against Liverpool there. But that is the roundup of the Premier League this weekend. So hopefully you have enjoyed this. If you did, then leave a like rating to show some support. The top 4 as it currently stands are Manchester City, Leicester City, Liverpool and Manchester United, the only teams that have won 2 out of 2 games. Sunderland sitting at the bottom of the table currently. So once again, leave any constructive criticism down below, and I will be back at home next week for the new episode, so I will be able to Photoshop stuff in if I want to, put stuff on the screen, show little clips, I don't know. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.